And WNST does the Ravens and the Fish getting it going on Sunday. This guy doesn't visit us often enough, but we love having him on when we do. He is the long time now, almost 9 years this week. He will have been the coach down at Navy, second term of duty, and of course, tearing it up on offense, the midshipman right now. We welcome head coach Ken Niumatalolo back onto the program, and I know it wears people out having to pronounce that, coach. I hope I got it right.
You did a great job, Nestor.
Almost like a real Hawaiian there. This game gets sandwiched in before the Army-Navy game that everyone looks forward to, but this is one you never mind playing in, right?
No, and it's one we hoped that we would be in once we joined the league, and so we're grateful to be in it. Like you said, normally at this time we're preparing for Army, the biggest game of the year for us. But to be in the American Athletic Conference championship game, it's a good problem to have. We're excited to be here.
So many years you've been involved in this, starting there the first time, leaving, coming back. So much has changed there, right? I mean, I covered the team when Alton Grizzard was there, when Elliot Uzelac was the head coach many, many moons ago, and there was always this perception that Navy couldn't get it done, that the recruiting side, the size-wise, all of that. Boy, you start putting 75 and 66 and 42 and 52 up back to back to back. You have really squelched maybe a lot of the mysteries of Navy football over the years.
Well, thank you, Nestor. Our guys are playing really well right now at a high level. We're able to have some success, which is great, and which has put us in this championship game. And just hopefully we can keep it going. Hopefully we can continue to keep this thing moving along.
You've been involved in offense a long time. What's making this work to this level?
Obviously the players. I think Coach Jasper, our offensive coordinator, and the offensive staff have done a really good job over the years, continuing to adapt and to change and to do things that, help us from a schematic standpoint in today's football with, all the spread teams, but still being viable as an option team. And the players believe in it. They're bought into what we do, and they're performing really well right now. And obviously with Will Worth being the head of that, just doing really, really good things right now.
When you go back and break this thing down play by play, to be able to create this kind of offense, is there, I guess it's not confusion on the part of the defense. It's just a very, very difficult, weird thing to have to prepare for, right?
I think that's the thing, Nestor. It's just that you don't see it that often. It's an offense where everybody else, their offenses look very, very similar. They spread you out and throwing the bubble screens and the zone read and, those types of things. What we do is very unique, and you may see it once a year or once every other year. And so I just think the unfamiliarity with it, with the players, is hard to adapt. Not so much the coaches. Coaches have seen it before, but trying to coach your players up to defend it, it takes some time.
Well, there was so much focus last year on Keenan, and of course he came up to Baltimore here and gave it a go with the Ravens. And, there's a thought, well, he's a special guy, and things will change there. And lo and behold, the offense this year, I don't want to be disrespectful to last year's team, but, I mean, even in your wildest dreams, I don't know that you really walk on the field thinking you're going to put 40 and 50 and 60 up every single week. Even if everything goes perfectly, it's hard to score 66 and 75 points.
This is as prolific as we've ever played since I've been here. And like you said, I would never would have imagined it after last year with Keenan and all the great seniors that we had last year. But to Will's credit and to the guys on offense, they're putting up some good numbers, and we're playing well as a team, and just hopefully we can keep it going. We got obviously 2 huge games coming up, and we've got to find a way to finish.
Look, I don't get you on often, but I got to ask you, especially this time of year, to address this. If you guys were undefeated, is there a pathway for you into that 4? I mean, in your own mind, and maybe you believe that, you have to believe that, you want to believe that, but where would you be? I mean, I guess you'd love to have that problem and create that confusion, but I often wonder, we're 25 miles away, and there are a lot of schools where it feels like, well, even if they were perfect, they wouldn't be allowed to play. And I think that's a very unfortunate thing, Ken.
Yeah, and my initial thoughts is we probably wouldn't be in the conversation. There'd have to be a lot of other people losing. It would have to be the year that everybody had 2 or 3 losses, and because and we would have to be perfect and win big against in big games. But it'd be tough for us to be in the conversation. But if we ever got in that situation and those kind of conversations happen, that'd be exciting. just like some of the conversations right now, are we going to still be available in the Cotton Bowl? It's exciting, but all you can do is just try to coach and hopefully do well. Your program can do well.
How much has it helped you to have these bowls all these years? I mean, Maryland just became bowl eligible. DJ Durkin's trying to get it done right down the street from where you are in College Park. We hear so much, and I think it's hard to get fans excited about a lower-level bowl, but certainly from a football standpoint, the bowl games are where it's at to get improvement on your team, right?
Well, I think as Chet Gladchuck, our athletic director, worked diligently to get us bowl tie-ins when we were independent, it was great because those were the things we shot for. Those were our goals, to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy and also to go to a bowl game since we didn't have a conference championship. And being able to go to those bowl games wherever they were at and the great experiences they were for our players and for our fans and our program, I believe it definitely helped our program. And so, we're grateful that, Mr. Gladchuck was able to do that because it helped us.
Well, I know you've had a variety of locales. It's your job now to say that Baltimore is the greatest place to have the Army-Navy game. But I know you'll experience that a little bit next week. But this is, the next couple of weeks for you guys, there's just so many great things ahead of you. It's not hard to get guys motivated to stay on point for Temple this week. But I know Army's a big deal next week. It's a big deal around here, too.
Army, obviously, like you said, the Temple game is our focus this week. It's a huge game for us. And next week, we'll turn our attention to Army. But that's going to be a huge game, not just because, obviously, it's Army, and when you play Army, it's always a big game. But to play it here in Baltimore, right down the street from us, it's definitely going to be a home field for us, and we're excited about that.
So, Coach, I got to tell you, I live at the harbor, right? And, every couple of years we get the game. It's unbelievable what happens in the way that the city gets transformed for, 48, 78, 72 hours. But it certainly does bring and breathe life into the community here in the early part of December.
Well, it's pretty cool, to have game day come down there and set up, there in the harbor. And like you said, all the fans from both schools and all Navy and Marine Corps and Army personnel that come to it. It's definitely great for our city.
All right, look, I've never been to Hawaii, and there's a couple Hawaiian restaurants popping up now here in America. What's the one Hawaiian food I got to take a stab at? Like, if I come to the island, where are you taking me? What are we eating?
Well, I'm pretty simple. I'm a teriyaki steak guy, but you can get that a lot of places.
You can get that anywhere. Keeping it simple here, like a real Navy head coach. He is the head coach of the Navy midshipmen. They're 9-2. They're taking on Temple this week. Good luck in your conference championship. We'll see you at the press conference here next week and getting you ready for Army-Navy next week. I really appreciate the time. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Keep up the great work down there. You're making everybody proud, man.
Thank you. Take care.
You got it, head coach Ken Niumatalolo. I even had to pronounce it. I practiced all week on that. I never want to screw that up. Navy taking on Temple in the AAC championship game at noon on Saturday. Of course, we're around all week. Luke's on the backfields out in Owings Mills getting you ready for Ravens football this weekend. Anything you miss, you can find in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device. Just download the TuneIn Radio app. Our morning newspaper ships to your email inbox. That's powered up by Planet Fitness. And if there's any breaking news between now and Sunday, worried about Jimmy Smith, keep an eye on Steve Smith and all the other Ravens injuries, you'll get it first on the WNST Tech Service. That's brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. I'm Nestor. This is WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.